2. We are live.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, wait a minute. People can't see me here.
What's going on? Why aren't you live
Hello.
on my?
I am live.
Why aren't you live on my? There we go. I can see you now.
We are live. And
I can see you now.
once again, it's Tuesday evening, and it's Let's Talk Paranormal with TJ and my co-host, Axe. Hello,
Hello.
Axe. How you doing tonight?
I'm in pain.
We're well. Okay.
That's all I'll say is I'm in pain.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that.
It's good enough. That's good. Other than that, I am fine, but I am in pain.
So I see Haley's with us tonight.
Yes.
Who else is out there with us tonight? You gonna say hi to us? Hi, Ty.
Ty's always in chat. Always.
Okay. Hi, Ty. Glad you're here again tonight. So tonight we are going to do haunted asylums.
See.
Oh, hey, Rick.
Really?
Say what?
Feeling you because I said I was in pain.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what? Okay, I don't understand that one. Oh, I get it. I'm in pain. Does anybody care?
I care.
I'm in pain every day. I have to live with X. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to put you in pain after the stream is over.
Hi, Raylene. Now I get it. So, which I think what we're going to start with the old.
Raylene says, I care.
Oh, that I'm in pain? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. At least somebody does.
I care. I'm also in pain every day. Not fun is what Haley says. So they do care.
It's true. Oh, look, my biggest pain just popped up behind me.
Oh.
I think she wants a snack. Yeah. Hi, Venus.
Anyways.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Venus has got to say hello.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Here's another. Wait a minute. I'm going to give her a snack. She'll go away. Works with Axe every time.
That's a lie. I never go away.
Very true.
I'm always a pain in the ass.
I bought her luggage when she graduated from high school and she moved up here with me.
You did not buy me luggage.
Oh, okay, but you did move up here with me.
I did, but I didn't. Yeah, I did not.
Wait
You
a
did
minute.
not buy me luggage.
Hold on, I got a request here. Let me get to it.
Where's your ghost pillow?
Give me a second. Oh, here it is. Look at this.
You have to name him. His name is Sylvester.
No, he's not.
Yes,
I'm gonna let Raylene name it. And don't say boo. Do not say boo. Okay? It's not boo. It's not Casper. Isn't it cute? My little ghost pillow. Yep. No, it's not the dog's toy. Leave it alone. Do not touch
Sylvester. It looks like a Sylvester.
So what does Haley and Raylene think we should name it? And Ty, if he's out there, I guess.
Ty's also streaming, so he might not be able to talk as much. So just keep that in mind.
So that's my ghost. It's my ghost pillow. I wouldn't buy it when I had to pay full price, but after I got 50% off, I bought it.
Ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! Raylene agrees with me.
That is unfair. That's unfair.
Sylvester, even Haley. Ha! That's 3-1.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, fine. It's Sylvester. Wasn't Sylvester a cat, though?
Yes,
that damn Tweety Bird was scared of or beat up on?
Yes, but it looks like a Sylvester.
Okay.
And you have to do it with the accent. Sylvester.
Sylvester the ghost.
Yeah, Sylvester the ghost.
Okay.
He's British.
Okay. So, are we ready to start this tonight?
I've been waiting on you.
Hold on, I gotta have a drink of my ghost coffee.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And after I have a drink of my ghost coffee, I gotta have a drink of my blue ghost drink.
That's crazy. I'm the only one that doesn't have alcohol over here.
Who said there was alcohol? I don't have alcohol in my coffee.
Just kidding, YouTube. She's not drinking.
Exactly. I have coffee in this cup. Can't you smell
Kool-Aid.
the aroma? What?
Kool-Aid.
I don't have Kool-Aid in my coffee cup. I have coffee in my coffee cup.
Anyways.
Blue raspberry ghosts. What the hell just
that?
happened? I don't know. I think the ghost just got the dog.
Why is she yelling?
Ghost got her.
Twice.
What's wrong? Okay, you're scared to death. What is wrong? I have no idea what the hell just got the dog.
Okay, well then.
Haley's making coffee.
Yeah, I saw that, but I'm very upset that the puppy's crying.
I did not do it. My hands were up.
Did you stomp on her?
No, I haven't even really moved.
Okay.
Is the cat under the bed? Maybe.
It's crazy.
Did the cat maybe smack her in the ass as she walked by? Highly possible. What happened, Beanie? What happened? Why are you limping? Did you hurt your foot? Oh, lay down over there on my ghost pillow. It'll be okay.
You told her not to lay down on it.
I told her not to chew it. What, honey? You can't come into my arms. Anyway, I'm ready to do the show here.
Okay.
I think. After that, I don't even know. Something got her.
Yeah,
Guess I'll find out later.
Yeah, right.
So as I said, tonight we are going to do haunted asylums.
Yeah.
And I think I want to start with, because I really don't know a lot about this asylum. It's called Old Tooley's Hospital.
That is not who you said we were starting with. Okay.
Okay, who did I say?
You said, never mind. It's how we're going to start with this one. Too late.
Okay. So, you give me all kinds of trouble. You see, I'm in pain. You thought I was kidding. So,
you deserve it.
Old Tooley Hospital. It began in 1873 in Utah.
Yep.
It says
here, gold rushes, miners. Oh goodness, summer heat.
Gold rush.
Desert.
Yep.
Desert dust.
So it said that the hospital. Yeah, well, I guess it says the original Tooley Hospital was built as a residence by Samuel F. Lee. It was converted into a residence for the elderly, which we're not going to talk about the elderly tonight, because I know a few. I might even be one of them. It was built for residents of the elderly in 1913 and was known as the county poorhouse. Well, there you go. For any of the young people out there tonight listening to the show, poorhouse, you wonder, a lot of people didn't know what poorhouses were. And back in the day, especially in the late 1900s, early...
late 1800s, early 1900s.
Well, yeah, it's 19th century, 20th century, coming into the 20th century. Say your father had a debt with the local merchant for, getting goods, and he bought it on credit, and then he couldn't pay. He had to go to the poor farm to work off that debt.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little catch to that. Not only did your father go to that poor farm, but your mother went along with any children your father might have had. And you all worked until that debt was paid off. And it wasn't they weren't nice places. They used to have one not too far from where we live.
Where the courthouse is?
Yeah, where the courthouse is.
Yeah.
Used to be an old poor farm there also. And
they even have a grave there.
Graveyard. Well, there used to be, the prison was there too. But I think we talked about this in another show. I think probably when we talked about penitentiaries, but I don't recall. But they marked the graves with numbers.
They didn't have names. You were 1, 2, 3, and whatever.
Hello, Haley on Mondo's account.
They were brutal. Yes, they were. Very brutal. But so this was, used as a poor farm. It says later on it became the Thule Hospital and then reverted back again to the elderly care facility when the new Thule Hospital was constructed in 1953.
Right.
In the original building, the original building no longer stands, but with the amount of hauntings that are reported from the new structure, one begins to understand just how haunted land can be. And that is correct. So many people I have run into have said, for instance, we did an investigation at a hotel here in Manchester called the Hilton Garden Inn back in 2014. And after we did the investigation, when we came to do the reveal, the owner was like, I just built this in 2008. How can it be haunted? Well, it's not your building. It's the land. It's the energy within the land, the things that have happened on the land. So basically, I would say for the new hospital, if they had hauntings, it was because of what transpired on that land before. It was never the building. It was the energy within the land. So, I mean, as of today, this particular old Thule hospital is a haunted attraction known as Asylum 49.
Mm-hmm.
The old Thule hospital started as a private residence. Okay, so originally it was just a regular family home, I guess.
Yeah, for Samuel Effley.
For Samuel Effley and his family. Over time, the face of the building changed, ranging from a poorhouse to a public hospital. As the population of Thule and Utah itself began to grow, residents and administrators noticed that the building could be used for much more. And soon it became Thule Hospital. And
that's crazy.
Just saying that, it said it was haunted, and at one point it said something about an asylum too, I guess. But which a lot of hospitals always had a mental ward anyway, I guess. Back in the day, not today, but back then they did. I guess in a way you could say a lot of the people that may have died in this hospital. Okay, some of them, if they died unexpectedly, well, there's a good reason for a haunting.
That is disgusting.
Excuse me.
So I was reading something that this hospital used to do. So so as Mama X, TJ already said that the Thule House was first built for Samuel F. Lee and his family. It then went to being like a hospital, a poorhouse, and then to a public hospital.
Well, no, you had the elderly for us old people like Raylene and I in there.
Yes. Anyways, what I just read was that the hospital opened in 1953, but never received enough funding. Thule Hospital didn't even have a morgue for their dead. Their solution was to stack bodies in an unrefrigerated room until the county coroner finally came to sign their name on the death certificates.
Wow.
That was how they handled the dead back then. Well, not back then, but that's how they handled the dead. They wouldn't even... Raven said, watch it. No wonder why this place is haunted, by the way. Because they
stacked bodies. I mean, that was so inhumane. Who wants to be stacked? Forget it. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Sorry. responding to a message real quick. Hold on.
I
There we
was
go.
going to ask who wants to be stacked on top of anybody, but I knew that would just. I know it's not going to sound right, so I'm just going to
That's
shut up
disgusting. Yeah, we're gonna move on from that. So
Move on.
besides that, okay, so also keep in mind we've mentioned before that construction can also mess with spirits, right?
Because it bothers them.
Yeah, it stirs up their energy. Basically, is what construction does. Well, that's not the only thing that can actually stir up energy of spirits and that kind of stuff. People coming in to do like tours, that's another thing. You might not always get something, but that also stirs up energy. Well, another
Exactly.
thing that can also stir up energy is when you decide to use these specific locations as filming sites for like TV shows and stuff like that.
Or they use them for tourist attractions because you can tour this place.
Well, I mentioned that, but
And people
this
go in
particular hospital has been the location of many acclaimed hauntings as well as the backdrop for various Hollywood hits. The Fastest Indian, the true story of Burt Monroe was filmed there, and then as well as Stephen King's post-apocalyptic fantasy The Stand was also filmed at this location.
I do respect the elderly. I am elderly. I respect the hell out of myself.
And then on top of that, you have all of that energy. So then on top of that, you're going to also have people, because what they do is they also destroyed the original building and then rebuilt it. So you're going to also have the energy there of the old building being destroyed and then being rebuilt into what it is today.
Right. But then you also got to take into consideration, because this is now a tourist attraction, what they say it was called? Something 49?
Asylum 49.
Asylum 49? Is that what it was called? Yep. Okay. Asylum 49. Because of this, you have hundreds, thousands of people. I can't even tell you because I have no idea. Of people coming through this place. And there's a lot of people out there that have negative energy that they bring with them. And who knows? Maybe some of that negative energy, kind of jumped off and stayed there too. So now you got people coming there, leaving their negative energy.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. I am old. I just look good for my age.
Anyways, continuing on. So,
but I mean, you do it like I said. You have people with negative energy can leave some of that essence behind when they're there. And Axe, as well as I do, that because we've come upon people when we've been out, doing a ghost hunt or whatever in a cemetery, and they are rude. They will come in there and they will demand spirits to show themselves because they think that's going to work. Okay.
Yeah.
A spirit is not going to show itself just because you walked in and said, I want you to show yourself to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way. That's not how it works.
No.
But that rudeness, they do that in these places.
Yeah. Oh, well, and not say please and thank you either. Yeah, exactly. They don't. You're not respectful.
Exactly.
So the thing with spirits in these kinds of places, well, in general, just in general, that what people forget is that spirits were once humans too.
That they were. And always will
just
be.
Like with any human, I mean, you're going to obviously find a couple of people that don't treat you with respect. They don't say please, thank you, this and that kind of stuff. They're not nice. They're not cordial, basically. While you find those people in life, while you're living, I have noticed that when it comes to the deceased, there are a lot of people who are just like, oh, well, they're gone. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We don't have to be kind to them anymore. That's not true because their energy is still here. They can still attack you if you offend them enough.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a popular ghost hunter that's constantly insulting spirits, Zach Bagan. He is constantly being attacked by spirits because he doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut.
Exactly.
So there's that. And then you have this so I want to bring attention to a 2006 incident. So the building was the person who bought the building and turned it into a haunted attraction is Kim Anderson, and he bought this place he bought this place in 2006, and he wanted it to be open to the community during Halloween season. So he
Mhm.
really wanted to get like his spooks and stuff in during the spooky season, basically.
Right.
So what it says is that he originally had a tough time accepting the stories of the hauntings in the building, and was a stark skeptic. So he did not believe in spirits at all, regardless of whatever he's faced in his life. People that have passed in his life, he did not believe in ghosts. He obviously believed that once you die, you die. You're just that's it.
You're
There's
gone.
nothing there.
That's it. Nothing left.
However, after spending countless hours in the building getting the haunt ready for the public, he came out a believer. It doesn't say exactly what he faced, but obviously he saw some stuff that kind of
That
freaked him
changed his
out,
mind.
and definitely changed his mind because he was not the same man.
Well, from what I'm seeing here, okay, after you talk about, you know, Kim Anderson, Mr. Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
it says here, it says even though the building is slated as a haunted house and popular tourist attraction, which we've already found that out, okay, actual reports of ghostly activity exist at Asylum 49. Multiple investigations, and see, there's your thing. They've had multiple investigations outside of it being a tourist attraction during Halloween. People have went in there to do investigations. Now, as we talked, some of these people aren't nice, as such as the one that Axe mentioned. Okay, and they have been, the investigations have been conducted at the hospital, all of which have turned up some experience or strange evidence. Here it says that they have a ghost. They named him Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse
Wes.
me, don't ask what?
Wes, yeah.
Wes. Many reports have come from the hospital telling of an old man known only as Wes. It is said that he was a patient at the elderly care facility and that he suffered greatly from Alzheimer's. At the time of his death, he was very confused and scared, and it's thought that this energy has carried over into death with him. A heartbreaking realization, truly. He is most reported in and outside of the room that he stayed in while residing at the building. Now that's sad because
Wait, are they saying that they think he still has Alzheimer's even in death?
as seeing him as a ghost. And you see, what I'm going to say here, okay, is that when we spend a lot of time somewhere, okay, like these houses that, up here we have a lot of the houses that are built anywhere from 150 years ago to 250 years ago. I think there's even one here recently that somebody told me about that's like 300 years old they live in. Okay. And you get what's called imprints. And it's because when we spend our life doing the same thing day after day, it becomes an imprint. Okay. And so, is it possible? I don't know how long this man stayed there, but he was confused. And, as they said, it is heartbreaking because is it the energy that he left behind? Because we do leave energy behind. Is his energy what these people are seeing? And it's him when he was in that confused state? Because I believe wholly when you die, you don't still suffer from those same conditions. I could be wrong. I don't
I mean,
know.
that's what it says in the Bible, is that once you cross over, you are no longer plagued with the things that you were plagued with in life.
But our energy does it. We leave energy behind. And is it possible that energy is what they're seeing that he left behind, the way he was? And a lot of these spirits you see, I don't know. Like I said,
Well, it says, oh, yep, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that they had to call a medium in to help this gentleman cross over.
And that's
And
possible.
apparently, she ended up making a claim that it was almost impossible to actually send him to the other side because there was an extremely dark entity that was attached to him, staying very close to his back. So even in death, okay, you are not safe from evil presences
No.
that haunt certain areas. They can
Yeah.
still attach to you even if you're dead.
Yes, they can. And they can confuse you into not realizing that you can still cross over. You know, there's
Which would
people.
probably add to his confusion, by the way, his confusion and his fear. Because that's what it seems that it was, is that he didn't still have his Alzheimer's. He died in a state of fear and confusion, and that fear and confusion carried with him into his death.
And see, one of the things that Angel and I always did when we did cleansings and when we crossed spirits over, is we tried to let them know that they could let go of their fear, that nobody could hold them there, that they just had to look for the white light and they could ascend. It didn't mean they couldn't come back to visit their loved ones. It just meant they got to cross over. And yes, some may have some, history that may not be so nice, but you can always get forgiveness even after you die. I believe that. We can still ask for forgiveness.
If you really want it.
If you want it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that murderers get to ascend to heaven right away. I believe they probably have to do some kind of, penance, whatever. In between, in between heaven and hell, there is purgatory. I don't know. I haven't been there yet either. Thank God.
Right. Raylene says they are free of pain on the other side, and then Haley says, "Yeah, I felt my grandma on my birthday."
Right.
I believe it.
I believe once they pass, they are free of pain.
Yeah.
But like I said, some energy does stay behind, especially if it's confused, and they can get trapped and not know, who knows.
Mm.
It's great when you have, I went through this with Angel, when you have somebody, a priest, come in and absolve her of all her, sins and whatever. You know she's going to ascend. But there are some people that don't know that, and who knows what Wes felt before he died. He had Alzheimer's,
Right.
And a part of his, energy may have been left behind in that hospital. I think he's gone.
I mean, it says that it says that it was extremely hard, but it was
Successful.
It was a successful crossover for him. But that doesn't mean that in the time that he was there that he didn't imprint some of his energy
Exactly.
because of his fear and confusion.
And that's I believe that, because one thing we do know about, well, I'm going to tell you right now, one thing I know about asylums, not because I've been there. I have been to one, but not because I was there. Does that make sense?
You are not a patient.
I was not a patient. I'm sure there's some people out there that may know me that think I should be a patient, but I'm not.
Yes.
And they keep him so heavily medicated that I can see how he could be confused.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easier to keep people, and that's probably why they don't have mental institutions anymore. It's because they kept them heavily medicated to control them.
Yep.
And I know this. I seen it as a kid. When my parents took my sister and I to visit a family member, those people scared the hell out of me. And I don't want to go into one that's abandoned because I deal with spirits, okay? I truly believe there's still some spirits there. And I figured they'd come after me again. As a kid, when you're 6, 7 years old and these people are coming at you, That's some scary, scary shit. I'm just going to say that right now. And I have no desire to walk into an abandoned asylum.
No,
Just going to say that right now.
it'll never happen. Nope. Um, Haley says one time when Mondo and I were in our first year of being together, my grandma paid a visit to him in his dream to pass a message to me that she's okay and she's not in pain anymore.
And that is how they do it.
Yeah. It's
Haley,
easier for them to communicate when you're sleeping.
That is my gift. My curse, my gift is that's how the spirits communicate with me, is they come to me in a dream with the message they want me to pass along. Sometimes I may not even know who I'm supposed to pass it along to, and I might figure it out down the road, but sometimes I just don't know who's coming to me and wanting me to, tell somebody something. But then again, there's other times I know exactly who I have to take those messages to.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that. I believe your grandmother did that.
Oh yeah.
What else have we got here?
So this next ghost, I want to talk about this next ghost because it reminds me of you. This is exactly how you're going to be when you pass on. I just know it. So
okay, wait a minute, Samuel.
Yeah. So we have Samuel F. Lee, who also haunts the site, and that's actually not
Wasn't he? He's the owner.
No, he was not the owner. He was the original. He was of the family home. He was the original person.
Yeah. So,
of course, it's no surprise that he would be there because obviously this is where his family home was. Mm-hmm. So apparently, this gentleman he contributed to in many ways to the community while he was alive, and then his son Thomas, who was estimated to be about 7 years old, is often seen lingering alongside his father at the hospital. Mm-hmm. Apparently, both of them are playful spirits who enjoy guests and love to play pranks on visiting tourists.
I would never do that.
Yes, you would. Samuel has been said to talk to visitors, telling them that of all the good things he's done in life, it seems he wants to have recognition for the good deeds while on the physical plane. So even though he's dead, he's still coming to people saying, hey, I would like my praise for the things that I've done for the community. I want some praise here. Please acknowledge the things that I've done.
Maybe that's because he didn't.
Well, that's true.
He may not have gotten that recognition in his life on Earth.
That's always possible.
And he wants to hear, that he was a good person. He did this.
So on top of being a prankster, he's a guy, he's like, hey, look at me. I did all this stuff.
So, moving along.
He was a funny one. I like this. So the reason why I said that this one reminds me of Mama is because she's always said that when she dies, she's going to come back as a little prankster. And I'm like, we already got one right here. That's a coincidence. No, I don't believe in coincidences. I think that's telling me something right there. I need to watch my back.
Yeah. So we're going to end it with perhaps the most interesting of all the hauntings is that of a nurse in white named Maria. Mm. She is believed to guard a portal. There has been reportedly seen at the facility. The portal is described as being extremely bright and formed as a way to direct the deceased of the building into the afterlife. There's a problem with that. Okay.
Interesting.
Because we have dealt with portals and we've had closed portals in the past. Mm-hmm. And what goes through that portal this way, unless it is blessed, can come back through along with other things that you don't want to come back through that portal. So,
well, that's the interesting thing with this one is that this Maria, this nurse Maria,
she guards it.
She guards it, but she tells other spirits to avoid the portal because the other side is dangerous.
Okay.
So is she a good ghost or is she a bad ghost?
Well,
because
if it's a portal, it's probably not. I mean, You see, what people don't understand is that when we die, okay, we open up a rip, okay, because we're passing, we're ascending, whatever our spirit is.
Mm-hmm.
We, for however long it takes us to leave this plane, okay, if we die instantly in a car accident, even though it's instantly, just for that short time, there is a rip. And when we're going this way, something can come back this way. Okay. Not only that, when people pass and they're brought back, they could also bring something back with them. Those are true facts. It's been proved in the past. So this was a hospital. I have no idea how this portal got there. But it's there. Is she good? It says she guards it. I mean, I don't know. Why would she guard it and not let anybody pass through it if it's good? You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It just, I mean, I wouldn't think that advising someone to not cross over being a good thing. She could be the dark entity posing as this nurse in white.
Right? That was attached to Wes's back. Was it a Wes?
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah. It's possible.
I mean,
Anything's
in
possible.
regards to this same thing, it says a man in black was once seen entering the room of a patient. Wondering who this visitor was at such a late hour, one of the hospital nurses followed him in to inform that visiting hours were over and that he needed to come back the next day. However, when she reached the patient's room, the door was locked. She called over a couple other nurses in an attempt to open it. They had a struggle, and after what felt like forever, they managed to pry the door open. When they got into the room, the thing is that what they're saying is that the man in black was nowhere to be found and the patient had passed away.
Well, now come on. I'm going to
So
probably tell you what that was.
the Grim Reaper.
It was death.
Well, of course, but what I'm saying is that they attach this story to
It's
Maria,
possible,
the
Haley.
one who's watching over the portal. How do you know that she wasn't the quote unquote man in black? She's just posing as somebody else.
Right.
I don't
mean,
know. I don't trust this Maria lady.
I don't know. It's kind of sketchy.
Maybe she sends a message to others. I mean, that's possible. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't trust her. I don't trust her. It's just
Well,
weird.
You don't have to trust her acts. You're not going over there anytime soon, are you?
I might.
Okay, well, stay away from the portal. Okay?
That's crazy.
Okay. So we'll finish up with that one. Which one would you like to move on to now, Axe?
I don't know. You pick one.
No, I just picked one. Don't make me fight with you.
I ain't scared of you. All right,
I'm
fine.
not scared of you.
We'll do Penhurst.
Okay. Let's go.
Penhurst is a famous one.
Well, Penhurst, to be honest, Penhurst, if I remember correctly, is not that far from. Now I forgot the name of it.
Good
Penn
job.
State Penitentiary.
Yep.
They're pretty close to each other.
Which is what we did when we did the haunted prisons.
Oh, Haley knows Penhurst. It's in Spring City, Pennsylvania.
Oh my! I will do this one. All right, so this one says in Spring City, Pennsylvania, there once stood a corrupt mental hospital with a past so unethical that it has inspired some of Hollywood's most disturbing on-screen stories. For nearly 8 decades, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. The Penhurst State School and Hospital operated under the same abhorrent and vile conditions, which led the institution facing controversy before closing its doors in 1987.
Should have closed its doors before that.
Jesus. They're talking about a school, too. Oh, my God. Okay, so then it says, the story of the old Penhurst Asylum seems far too disturbing to be true, but unfortunately the patients who lived there faced unimaginable horrors no human should ever endure. Oh God, I just knew we were going to come to this kind of stuff. It is no wonder that people believe many vengeful spirits now haunt the site of the former asylum.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my God. So then we have a few bullet points that I just want to touch on real quick because it says
Who haunts it?
Yeah, who haunts Penhurst Asylum. So it says Penhurst Asylum for nearly 80 years. Wait, what?
Operated.
Oh, excuse me.
Operated.
Penhurst Asylum operated for nearly 80 years until it was forced to shut down on December 9th, 1987, due to its long history of being understaffed, dirty, and violent.
Mm.
The former mental hospital was the inspiration behind the FX show American Horror Story Asylum. And today, the site of the hospital is now home to a museum that educates visitors on the dark history of mental health treatment and the controversial haunted asylum attraction.
I learned it firsthand. I didn't need to go to this. No. Dark history, education, whatever. Like I said, I experienced it firsthand. I seen what these people were going through back as a kid.
Mm. Do you want me to go ahead and continue on with the history?
Go ahead.
Okay. So what it says is that Penhurst was founded in 1908.
Yes, it was, Haley.
What? Penhurst Asylum is one of the most brutal asylums I have heard about. Yes. Yes. It's right up there with those people who would torture prisoners at the jails.
Well, you got to remember it's not too far from the penitentiary we talked about.
Yeah. And
I'm sure
what I'm assuming is that the fact that they did this to children too, because they mentioned that the school also operated under these same conditions that this asylum did, is I was about to say the F word, is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, don't say that word. I'll get out the quarter jar. The swear jar. Swear jar.
Yeah, I caught myself. So what this says is that
keep a tab, Raylene. We need to know how many times she cusses.
I haven't.
Okay.
Maybe once. Anyways, so it says that Penhurst was founded in 1908 and was intended to offer a safe environment for the mentally ill. I'm sorry, I couldn't get past that without laughing. Anyway, the services patients would receive while staying. What? Hold on. The services
patients would receive while staying there included
vocational training to help them overcome their disabilities, but within a short time, Penhurst turned away from those good intentions. Over the years, more than 10,500 individuals resided at the facility just outside of Spring City in rural Chester County. At its peak, the hospital was home to more than 3,500 people.
That's crazy.
In the late 1940s, there was a growing public movement that challenged the administration practice at Penhurst and other similar institutions. The advocacy was jump-started by a series of unsettling events. Media exposés showed the public the horrors of what truly was going on behind the scenes at Penhurst. Several years later, in 1968, a 5-part television report by a newsman in Philadelphia named Bill Baldini took a deep dive into the dire conditions at Penhurst. The expose was titled "Suffer the Little Children." Oh my God, I know what that is. I know what that is, and focused on the youngest patients at the facility. The footage showed neglected children wandering throughout the ward. Some needlessly shackled to beds, unable to get up on their own. Many of them would take part in dangerous studies and experiments such as psychosensory habilitation, which was believed to cure various mental illnesses. Oh my God. You know what that is? Yeah, you know what that is too. I know what that is. I watched it, and oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah. People didn't care back then.
That was probably one of the most disturbing things I've ever watched in my entire life. You want to watch horror? Go watch that. Because that is what true horror is.
The torturous treatment, if I can take it from here.
Of course.
While you recover from that. Okay.
Children. Children.
I know. I said, while you recover, I'll move on.
Yeah. Sorry.
The torture, you're fine. The torture's treatment of Dr. Fear. Several doctors on staff at the asylum were believed to be corrupt. Wonder why they thought that. Couldn't be the kids shackled to their beds now, would it?
Right.
But there was few who were as well documented as Dr. Jesse G. Fear. That was his name.
I thought
Stories
Dr.
about
Fear was a nickname, but nope.
nope, it's not a nickname. That's his name. Stories about the doctor were so vile and horrific that he was the inspiration behind the character of Dr. Arthur Arden
Hmm.
from Asylum, one of the most sadistic seasons of the FX anthology series, American Horror Story. I don't think I've watched that. Have we?
No. American Horror Story is a fictional like TV show.
Yeah, I don't think
And
I've watched it.
they do different things each season. I remember them doing something about the asylum. I didn't know it had anything to do with Penhurst though.
Dr. Fear explained his abnormal methods.
Abominable.
Whatever. What'd you say? Abominable?
Yeah, abominable.
Okay, his abominable methods of behavioral correction in children. Just 2 years after he was acquitted for dispensing a dangerous drug to Penhurst patients, he referred to the disturbing practice as downgrading. I
What
can
the
just imagine.
Oh, sorry. The F
Oh,
word.
swear jar, where is it? Somebody hold it up for her. Okay, there it is. Made me lose my place now. Downgrading. And explained that it was a form of punishment designed to offend the dignity of patients with behavioral issues by placing those within IQs
Normal IQs.
with normal IQs in wards designated for those who were profoundly mentally challenged.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Leave me be. Leave me be, Haley. Leave me be.
he proposed his purpose, get it out there, was to cause those patients to suffer from a sense of ridicule and isolation, humbling them into submission, taking a child who was a troublemaker at the hospital and forcing them to endure cruel exploits from their peers caused extreme mental anguish as well as I can't even say it. Developmental regression.
Yep.
Well, of course. You take a troubled kid and you do that to him, and you're doing nothing but causing a mental break. You're doing the opposite of what they're even there for. You're not there to help them. That's not helping them. That is making them even worse. Okay, it says Dr. Fear was also known to use obscure devices. Oh, good God. When punishing misbehaving patients, it's been said that he would administer the most painful injection available.
Oh, hell no. You come at me, I'm going to stick you right in the eye. That
wouldn't do any real harm to the patient. It wouldn't do any real harm. It just hurt. The doctor callously stated that the patient really hit the ceiling over that. For that cruel act, he only faced a 30-day unpaid suspension from Penhurst.
That is crazy.
That's no wonder there's spirits haunting this place. I'm surprised they ain't running around jabbing people with needles. I'll let you go ahead. Don't say it again. He should have been fired, Haley. I agree. But back then they didn't. They let people get away with a lot of stuff. Doctors, you name it. You want to go on with it, X? You okay?
Yeah, yeah. Jesus Christ. Uh, Jesus. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm okay. I'm okay. Just children.
Well, let's talk about the hauntings, I guess.
Oh well.
It
So
says,
well, no, they have recent information about this particular asylum. So it says today the site where the Penhurst State School and Hospital once operated in Spring City, Pennsylvania, it looks very different. So it
mhm,
says several of the buildings were scheduled for demolition in 2023. However, the old main building is still standing. Most of the property was sold for a private development, and some sections were preserved. The site is still accessible, with parts of it operating as a museum as well as the Penhurst Asylum haunted attraction.
mhm.
And then it says the museum educates visitors on how corrupt mental health treatment was years ago, while the haunted attraction offers jump scares and entertainment for those who are intrigued by the eerie and haunting side of Penhurst's past.
Mhm.
Um,
I don't think I'd want to go there just to get jump scared from some, you know, insane asylum where doctors were paid basically to torture young children and whatever, anybody. Because to me, that was just torturing.
yeah. So it says, while they may offer two opposite experiences, the buildings sit side by side, causing people to question which experience truly captures the story of Penhurst's sordid history and how it should be shared so that it is most effective and respectful. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. Having an attraction, a haunted attraction, is not the way to pay respects to the people that went through that kind of
That
torture.
went through that torture and that hell in that place. That's not respectful.
No, it's not respectful to any of the places that we're going to talk about that have haunted attractions.
No. And you got to remember, in this time period back in the, well, we're going to talk like in up until to be honest, the 80s, they were still having a lot of issues. And I don't want to offend anyone out there, but I might. So if I do, I apologize now. But in those days, a nurse was usually the female. Okay, that was her job. You didn't hear about female doctors in the
Mm.
early years. Okay, so you had a lot. What are you laughing at?
Who?
Oh, I thought you were laughing.
No.
Um, uh, the nurses had to just stand back and watch what these doctors were doing to these patients, and then of course some of the nurses even became sadistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they figured why not? The doctors are doing it, we can too. But not everybody wanted to keep silent, but they had to because that was their job. You know, where else would they go and get a job if they went against one of these doctors? You can guarantee those doctors would blackball you.
Yep. So before we continue on to the hauntings, there's one other thing that I want to touch on, which is giving the former patients of Penhurst a voice. And it says in 2017, new owners took over Penhurst LLC, and they had a
Mhm.
different vision for what the haunted asylum could be. The new owners and general manager had personal connections with those in the disabled community. They wanted to reinvent the attraction in a way to honor the patients while still catering to those who enjoyed the spooky, harmless fun of the haunted house. And then it says, out of
Okay.
respect, they changed many of the features of the attraction and hired a group of performers with disabilities to work work at the haunted house, giving them full creative control. In this new storyline twist, the disabled performers take on the role of the haunters, who conspire to take control of the asylum and lock up the fictional corrupt doctors and nurses, as well as the patrons who are taking the tour.
Right. Well, and that I think that, and it's I don't see anything wrong in that sense
Right.
because they're showing what the patients didn't get to do. They're reenacting it how it should have been for the patients.
Mm, right. They're
the
showing
patients are getting their revenge on the doctors that, the corrupt doctors that did that to them.
Yeah.
And they're also giving disabled people work.
correct. I knew she was gonna struggle bus. Yeah, that struggle bus for real. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
hard.
do you want to go ahead and talk about the spirits?
Mimi,
Yeah,
you talking to me?
yeah. Talking to you. Do you want to talk about the spirits?
Well, let's see. I'm going to try to find them now. I've jumped around so much. Where are they?
So it says the oopsies.
The hauntings at Pennhurst Asylum.
Yeah.
While many of the original buildings from the Pennhurst State School and Hospital are no longer standing, the structures that are still there have now been converted into the Pennhurst Haunted Asylum attraction. Okay. And according to staff members, the actors portraying creepy characters are not the only ones who provide the jump scares and feelings of dread within this haunted house. Multiple ghost sightings and encounters have been reported from the places where people are permitted to go. Yeah, okay, it did say permitted to go, as well as the part of the building where no one is allowed to go.
Why would they go there? If they're not allowed to go there, why would they go there?
Well,
Make it make sense.
The spirits can go there.
No. But how would the people encounter such things if they're not allowed to go there?
Probably workers. That's what I'm going to assume.
Oh, okay. Okay, that would make sense.
If you visit the Pennhurst Asylum, it is very likely you will see some typical ghost activity. People have witnessed the unusual supernatural happenings, such as seeing shadowy apparitions in the dark corners, watching colorful orbs of light floating around, and objects moving without anyone near them. Lighting and electronics have been known to malfunction. Trip lines will go off without anyone being around, and some of the props inside the haunted attraction have moved on their own.
Dun dun dun.
Some have documented images of ghosts in photos, especially in the basement, where these days no one is allowed to enter. Well, thank God, because Axe won't go in the basement.
Nope. I don't deal with basements. Nope. No.
There's a playful child in the hallway.
That's nice. I don't mind that.
I don't understand how it could be playful after having to go through what it probably went through there. Staff members have recalled seeing and hearing spirits as well as being touched by them. One man who used to work at the attraction was waiting in the long hallway in the old administration building, waiting for customers to arrive. The hallway was full of dark fog in preparation for the haunted tour, so he couldn't see clearly in front of him, but he was certain that he was completely alone in the hall. Suddenly, he felt someone hugging him from behind. The force was so strong, he felt as if he was being pulled backwards.
Oh.
He turned to see that there was no one around. A few minutes later, when another worker joined him, he mentioned what had happened to her. She told him about the ghost of a little girl who loves to play with people in the hallway and loves to give hugs.
Aw.
The little girl isn't the only spirit who can be found in the old administration building. There is also a much darker entity, dun 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 dun, that haunts the day room. It's been said that he is not very nice at all and has even been known to lock unsuspecting people into lockers. Oh,
the heck?
That hasn't happened since high school. Sorry. Visitors and staff members claim to feel a very heavy and unsettling feeling as they walk inside the room whenever the ghost is present.
That sounds like it would be Dr. Fear, if I'm going to be honest.
Probably, because
I have a funny feeling that he's probably haunting that place too.
It's pretty torturous to be stuck in a locker.
Yeah.
I wasn't always big T, okay? I used to be little T, you know.
It used to be little T. That's crazy. No,
I
I have a
was.
funny feeling that the Dr. Fear, haunts that asylum.
Oh, I'm sure he left one hell of an imprint. He's probably the dark entity.
Yeah.
Because somebody that sadistic, I would hope would have to be left behind to, you know,
Pay penance.
pay a hell of a lot of penance for what he did to those people.
Clearly, he's not.
So, as we move on, because we are already at almost 9 o'clock, so Penhurst is gone. It's down. So now let's go to how about we do Waverly,
Okay. Waverly.
Waverly Hills.
Here it is.
Okay.
Okie dokie. You
A
start.
lot of people. It's called Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Okay. Waverly originally, its history, if you know anything about it, it started out a sanatorium for tuberculosis.
Mm.
So, despite all the research that has been done on Waverly Hills Sanatorium, no one is certain how many people died there. Some claim that as many as 68,000 people died on the property, but the real number is believed to be closer to 8,000.
But how do they go from 68,000 to 8,000?
I have no idea.
That's a
But
60,000 person difference.
I guess we're going to find out how they do that, aren't we? As soon as I clean my glasses so I can see what the heck I'm looking at. Okay. All right. Let's see.
I'm just saying that's a drastic difference from 68,000 to 8,000. That you're losing 60,000 deaths in that.
It states, if you let me go on, still, this is a staggering number of deaths to occur in one place. Added to that is the fact that not all of the deaths were the results of tuberculosis.
Of course.
Two nurses took their own lives at Waverly Hills in the 1920s and the 1930s. A man was murdered inside the building when it was abandoned. And there's a story of a tragic accident involving the death of a boy who may also have been murdered.
What the heck?
Even after Waverly Hills closed as a tuberculosis hospital, it reopened as a nursing home that developed a reputation for, once again, inhumane treatment of patients.
What the hecky is wrong with people?
Well, like I said, they were allowed to get away with this. You know, nobody stopped it.
Disgusting.
And there's still, I mean, this day and age, people still get away with a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be getting away with.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It says, as a result, paranormal investigators have identified several active hauntings within the massive complex. Waverly Hills Sanatorium is open to the public throughout the year, and ghost tours are available. There's another issue for activity because, we got to bring all these people in. Sometimes spirits just want to be left alone. I'm going to tell you right now. And my computer needs to quit moving around because I'm not touching my mouse, but it keeps moving. I guess it wants me to read certain things here. Let's see. It says, although parts of the building have been renovated, much of the hospital has remained derelict and untouched since it officially closed in the early 1980s. And the reason for that is, well, these people that own these buildings, these old insane asylums and whatnot, they don't want to really fix them up because who's going to come look at a nice place? They want to see the scary.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see the paint peeling on the walls and, the derelict look.
Another
Is that,
thing that will
oh,
cause hauntings is sorry, I mean, yeah, them not taking care of it will obviously cause hauntings, but the fact that they allow vandalism to take place with
yes.
graffiti.
Well, and it goes on to say, after it closed in 1980s, it says paint peels off doors, debris litters the hallways, and graffiti covers the walls,
Hmm.
creating a distinctly unsettling atmosphere. No matter what changes are made to the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, it's clear that the spirits are there to stay. And I'm sure they are.
That's pretty obvious.
Because what is so hard, well, I'm going to go on to the early years of Waverly Hills as a tuberculosis sanatorium. Major Thomas H. Hayes originally owned the land on which Waverly Hills sits. In addition to building a house, Hayes had a one-room schoolhouse built for his daughter. They were taught by a woman named Lizzie Lee Harris, an avid fan of the Waverly novels by Sir Walter Scott. As time went on, the property became known as Waverly Hills. It's unclear when or why the second E was dropped, and the two spellings were used interchangeably for quite some time. Due to its low evaluation and proximity to the Ohio River, Louisville made a hotspot for tuberculosis in the 1900s. Okay, so there we are. We're 1906.
Well, so
Well,
will
um,
sanatoriums by themselves be a separate topic? Because I have one in. So technically, Waverly Hills is a sanatorium. It's not. It's not just a
well,
mental hospital. It is a
it
sanatorium.
it started out the tuberculosis hospital. Okay,
Yeah,
um, if I can go on, in 1906, the Board of
I was
Tuberculosis
responding to
Hospitals,
Haley. I
I
apologize.
know, was formed to help combat the disease. In 1908, the board devised a plan to build a tuberculosis hospital for patients with early stages of TB. Waverly Hills was chosen due to the higher evaluation, you know, scene, scenic view and remote location, because you wanted to be remote, you wanted to be out, whatever. On July 26, 1910, Waverly Hills Sanatorium opened its doors to patients in the Louisville area. The original building was a modest two-story wooden structure with
Mm.
two wings, one for men and one for women, uh, that it could accommodate 20 patients each. It cost only $25,000 to build.
I
Yeah,
wish.
that would be like probably 5 billion or 5 million today to build.
Something
Um,
like that. Yeah.
However, the number of patients at Waverly Hills quickly outgrew the space. Okay, so they had a lot of overcrowding. Um, what I don't even know if I'm going to get into this. Yeah, it does say this. Okay, they do talk about the children. Waverly Hills. What happened when if you had tuberculosis and you had kids, your kids didn't get left at home.
Mm-mm.
Okay, those kids had to come also
Yep.
to the. So it says the children's pavilion was both for children with tuberculosis and for children whose parents were being treated at the sanatorium.
Right.
So here you got a children's pavilion. Okay. Now they just said it was built for children with tuberculosis. The other place was for the men and the women that had tuberculosis, right? But now we're going to put the kids that don't have tuberculosis, we're going to put them in that pavilion with the kids that do have it because their parents had it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happened to some of those kids that didn't have it?
They got it.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty bad. It is.
Disgusting.
So Let's see. Anytime you want to take over here, if you see something, I don't really care about the
So I'm gonna pick up with
design.
I guess I'll pick up with the drastic procedures at Waverly Hills.
Well, life and death at Waverly Hills. Why don't we go with that first?
Well, because that's I was just looking at that and I didn't really.
You didn't see what you.
It basically it's saying that.
Oh, it's talking about. I see what it's talking about. It's talking about the disease.
Yeah, and that people were prevented from having any kind of contact with the outside world, which was how they treated tuberculosis.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it made the life there very isolating at Waverly Hills. No, even the doctors and nurses they couldn't leave the property. They were there full time at Waverly Hills because of this.
Okay, well, you can go right to the rise and fall of Waverly.
No, because part of the thing of why it's haunted is because of the procedures that they did.
I know, but you're going to say something mean. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to say nothing.
Okay, talk about the cruder methods.
Right. So it says drastic procedures at Waverly Hills. And then it says, unfortunately, there were cruder methods for treating the disease. Oh, I should probably specify that one of the things that was encouraged was that patients needed to get as much fresh air as possible, so that you would all like in some old tuberculosis photos, you would see like a whole bunch of people sitting out on like a deck or whatever. That was
Okay, can I
because
step? Can I step in for just a second because I know what this was called.
Yes, whatever.
Okay, a lot of people don't know this, but this was called bleaching. Okay, and you've probably heard that.
Leeching, as in putting leeches on somebody?
Not leeching, bleaching.
Oh, bleaching.
And I don't mean drinking bleach, okay? And neither did somebody else when they said it.
Anyways.
Okay? Bleaching was a medical terminology. They felt that by putting people out in the sunlight, because what happens if you take a bright red towel and you leave it in the sun for a long time, what's going to happen?
It turns like a pinky color.
It's going to bleach. It's going to bleach. That's what it's called. So they thought by putting these people out in sunlight would help them bleach the tuberculosis out of them. That's what it was called. It was called bleaching. So go ahead.
Well, it was also called heliotherapy, which was them putting them under a roof of a new building to get extended exposure to sunlight. So it's not like they were in direct sun. Like they had some type of covering, but
well, they put them in porches, so they could be out in the sunlight.
Yeah. What? Bleaching, because they believe that doing this would help them get. Well, no, I know that.
Yes. Yes.
It was proven though that getting the extra sunlight and the fresh air, it did help them, and them staying away from greasy foods and things like that. That actually helped them too. So it was all part of you get enough of the natural elements. You take away the foods and stuff that are unhealthy, the greasy foods, in other words, such as sausages, bacon, that kind of thing. You take that kind of stuff away. You give them extra sunlight.
Take the bacon away.
Yeah, well, then obviously you would die of tuberculosis because you don't want to.
But I die happy.
But like you give them a healthy diet, no grease, and then you give them plenty of sun exposure, fresh air. This is actually what helped them get better until they started making the medicine for it.
The antibiotics.
Yes. Now, carrying on with what we were doing. So it says, unfortunately, there were cruder methods for treating the disease. Patients would sometimes undergo artificial pneumonia
thoracic procedure.
The thoracic procedures that wholly and partially collapse the infected lung, which a balloon would then replace. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Okay. Patients can also have lymph nodes removed from the lung during the lobectomy. lobectomy. What the heck is that?
Mhm.
Or have portions of their lung removed in a pneumectomy. Oh my god, these scientific words are throwing me for a loop.
Symptomony.
Whatever. Anyways, the most
Well,
extreme
it's
treatment
pneumonia,
was
tomony, whatever.
thoracoloscopy, which involved removing
Thoracoloscopy.
7 to 8 ribs, which was believed to allow greater lung expansion. You would remove ribs with that? Oh my god. Okay.
They would remove your ribs because they thought, because your ribs keep your lungs from just, okay. And they wanted them to get fresh air. So they figured by removing the ribs, the lungs are going to expand more so that they can get the air they need. Didn't work.
Oh my god. For patients whose TB had spread to their brain, doctors administered electroshock therapy to combat psychological effects of the disease to little avail. Oh my god. As you might imagine, death was a near daily occurrence at Waverly Hills due to the extreme and often ineffective treatment methods. The constant cloud of death over the sanatorium usually resulted in low morale among patients. The
Yes, it
death
did.
rate at Waverly Hills eventually became so high that a secret tunnel was constructed to move bodies out of the sanatorium. The tunnel is commonly referred to today as the
The
body
body is
chute.
the chute. Yep.
That is
And
disgusting.
it's very haunted, the body chute is. But you got to think about all the bodies that went out of there.
So then, was it really 8,000 people, or was it really 68,000 people? Because now it's saying something about
50,000 patients over 51 years.
yeah. See, I don't trust anything that any of
So
these
in
statistics are saying.
1943, an antibiotic called strethromycin was developed to effectively treat TB. After it
Streptomycin.
became,
Streptomycin.
what did I say?
I don't even know, but it wasn't that. It sounded like
Well, I got the
steptomycin.
myosin part right.
Yes, you did.
After it became widely available, it was administered at Waverly Hills in 1949.
Mm.
As a result, the patient's population
Yeah.
steadily decreased throughout the 1950s. And in 1961, the remaining patients at Waverly were moved to the nearby Hazelwood Sanatorium. When Waverly Hills shut its doors, it housed approximately 50,000 patients over 51 years. So there's your answer. It wasn't 8,000, it wasn't 68. It housed 50,000 patients.
By the time it closed, so there was no way
Yeah.
it was 68,000 deaths.
No.
But it
No,
definitely sounds like there was more than 8,000.
I don't think there was, there was more, definitely more than 8,000, but I don't think there was 68,000.
Mm.
A year after its closure, Waverly Hills Sanatorium reopened in 1962, the year I was born. Look at that. As a nursing, I told you I was old.
Yeah.
But I know somebody who's older. A nursing home called the Woodhaven Geriatric Center. Oh, don't you love that word? I think I'm geriatric. Woodhaven was meant to treat patients with dementia, mental illness, and physical disabilities. So this is at the point where the mental part of it came in, because now you've got people with dementia, you got people with mental illness and physical disabilities. Sadly, the center was constantly understaffed, and there was widespread rumors of patient neglect. Oh, jeez. Cockroach infestations. Was that arachnoids?
Archaic modes
Archaic
of
modes? What the heck is that? Oh, of electric shock therapy.
Like archaic, like
yeah,
demented.
Yeah. And other inhumane living conditions led to the closure of Woodhaven in 1982. It lasted 20 years. Following Hazelwood's closure, developer Jake Clifford Todd purchased Waverly Hills. I don't care how much he purchased it for.
$3,500,000.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Todd
insane.
planned to convert the building into a minimum security prison. Oh yeah, that would have been even. Sure, that would have worked too. Not. Where did I leave off?
However, his plans were quickly squashed after locals banded together to protest the opening of a prison.
Well, yeah.
Oh, then he was going to turn it into apartments. Oh my God. And then that also fell through.
Yeah. Todd considered turning it into apartments, but it fell through. So that's when they made it into what it is today, most likely. Well, no, that's when Robert Albernsky purchased it in 1996. I tell you, let's see if we talk about the ghosts here. A wide range of hauntings have been reported at Waverly Hills Sanatorium, shocking even the most seasoned paranormal investigators. For example, people have encountered the ghost of the doctor in a white lab coat entering a fourth floor operating room. Yeah, I don't want to go there.
Yep.
Witnesses have seen a ghost chef in the abandoned kitchen and smell baking bread. Hey, Raylene, you up for that? Fresh bread. Bread. I don't even know she's there anymore. Let's see. Wait a minute. Left off bread. Oh, on the fifth floor, visitors have encountered the not boiled. Here, I'm hungry. The full-bodied apparition of a woman running down the corridor with her wrists cut, screaming, "Oh, Lord." Faces often appear in the windows of empty rooms, and neighbors reported seeing lights on at the sanatorium during the years when there was no electricity. Go ahead, X. I'll share this with you. You don't know where
so
I
it says during the years that Waverly stood abandoned, 2 men reportedly died on the property. One was said to be murdered by drug dealers, and the other fell down an elevator shaft with his dog. Not the dog!
Did the dog die too?
I would assume so.
It doesn't say.
I would assume that the dog died if they both fell down the elevator chute, TJ. My goodness. Since then,
Well, not if he landed on the guy that died.
No, here we go. Since then, the apparitions of both men and the dog have been seen on the property.
Well,
owner Tina Mattingly even reported seeing the ghost man and his dog while locking up after a tour. Now, this part I found interesting. It says, in addition to these identifiable spirits, countless shadow figures lurk among the 5 floors of Waverly Hills. The most disturbing is the entity known as the Creeper. The Creeper does not seem to be human, but rather a large shadow figure that has been spotted climbing the walls and ceiling of the 4th floor.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that.
No, I don't like crawling things. No. Another terrifying entity visitors have rumored to occur at Waverly Hills is doppelgangers. These entities look precisely like their victim. Imagine seeing someone who looks just like you in the dark, decrepit hallways of Waverly Hills.
You don't want to see your doppelganger.
There's an old superstition. There's an old superstition that people have been known to die after seeing their doppelganger, which makes witnessing one at the hospital even more traumatic. Waverly Hills is filled with the sounds of the past. Auditory hauntings, including screams, moans, sounds of doctors performing surgery, and relentless coughing. Children's laughter has also been heard, a chilling reminder of the young patients who perished here.
Well, the coughing, I'm just going to cut in there. The relentless coughing, that's understood because it was a tuberculosis hospital, and one of the things you would be doing is you would be coughing relentlessly.
Yeah. Witnesses also felt spirits holding their hands while walking down the hallway. Others have felt body pain as if experiencing the symptoms of TB or the barbaric surgeries once performed here.
Nope. I'll pass on all that.
That's
So
actually insane.
definitely, I
I
would
would
not
assume
want.
that the holding hands, I would assume that would probably be the children as well.
Right. And yes, Haley, I would say that would be a residual haunt because it was, you know, something they did continuously.
Oh my God, we were just talking about this guy. So it says, in 2010, Zach Bagans and the team of Ghost Adventures were locked inside Waverly Hills for an overnight investigation. During this investigation, the team captured several EVP recordings, including a distinct voice asking, "Remember me." At one point in the investigation, Zach climbed into the morgue cooler, which would have been used to store bodies before being transported off the property. While lying in the now non-functioning cooler, Zach felt extremely lethargic and for no reason, and ultimately had to leave the area to regain his energy. I thought that was
Mhm.
Nick.
Nick got left in a one of those, yes, him, while Zach and Aaron went off and about, and Nick was Nick was the one calling for help. Whether it was this one or Penhurst, I couldn't tell you,
Oh,
but they left him in an old morgue refrigerator, and they couldn't find their way back to him, is what they said.
oh, okay. So I might be getting confused then because
Yeah,
I thought this was
no,
the episode where he was
no, I don't
where it
think
was
so.
Nick. And
No.
blah, 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 got tongue tied again. And then it says the show Ghost Hunter aired their first investigation of Waverly Hills in Waverly, no, Waverly,
Waverly.
Waverly Hills in 2007 and returned for a second investigation in 2021. The second episode, lead investigator Grant Wilson referred to Waverly Hills as kind of a department store for the
Wait a
paranormal.
minute. Did
Each
you
floor
jump?
is something different.
Wait a minute? Did you jump from? Yeah, you went to a new that was Ghost Hunters,
Yeah.
not Ghost Adventure.
Well, because I finished the Ghost Adventures one,
Yeah,
we went on to Ghost Hunters.
yeah. I didn't hear you say Ghost Hunters. I thought you
I
were.
said the
I'm like,
show
wait a minute.
Ghost Hunters aired their
Yeah.
first investigation of Waverly Hills in 2007 and returned for a
Yes.
second one in 2021.
Okay, I know. I just misheard you.
It's okay. And then, Waverly.
It's gonna be its new name when X says it. Weberly.
Waverly. Okay. So it
We
says
should name my. We should name my ghost Weberly.
no, it's Sylvester.
Yes. No.
Sylvester.
No. Weberly. I like Weberly better.
Oh my god. Anyways, so it says during these investigations, the team captured multiple shadow figures inside the hospital, and banging doors were heard in the body chute. Perhaps more unsettling was when a prankster ghost locked investigators inside the body chute. Oh no! Owner Teener. Oh my god! I just
Oh
did
my
that New
God!
England thing.
You've become a New Englander. You
Owner
hear her,
Tina
Raylene? You should be proud.
Mattingly confirmed that multiple people, herself included, have been locked in the body chute over the years.
I can't believe you said Teener.
Leave me be.
That's as bad as Weberly.
Waverly and Teener.
Teener. Yep.
Teener, get over here.
Yep.
Sylvester.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
Now
god.
let's move on to the last one.
I can't believe it either.
We got a few minutes here, so we're gonna go through this one. I don't know, as quickly as possible.
So which one are we doing?
We are going to do the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Yeah, no.
I better make sure.
These are really long. They give you like a lot of history, and then they get into like what the hauntings are.
No, well, this one I can understand if this is the one I think it is. Yes, it is. I can understand why this one would be haunted outside of the state hospital. It says known as the Weston State Hospital when it was constructed in the 1800s. Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum's construction was stopped in 1858 when the Union soldiers wanted to use the land during the Civil War.
Oh my god, here we go again with the Civil War.
Okay, so now we have the ghosts of the Civil War that are going to be there for one. The building, like many other asylums at the time, was constructed in the Kirkbride style, whatever that is. Thomas Story Kirkbride was a mentally ill man, oh wonderful, who wanted nothing more than to be associated in a positive light with American psychiatric facilities.
What the?
Okay, so he was crazy, and he's the one that designed the building? Is that what I'm getting from this?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. What great way to start out a crazy hospital with a crazy designer. Kirkbride believed patients should be allowed to roam around the facility and the grounds of the asylum. He believed that giving patients more freedom was essential to their healing, and that soon they would even be cured of their illnesses.
What the heck?
Some of the patients remember fond memories of the asylum. The asylum truly used to live up to its name. Key word there, used to. We have, I guess this is somebody speaking here. Former patient, okay, says, I remember the Thanksgiving thing was great. We had great turkeys, and the Christmas thing was wonderful. It was like a fairy tale atmosphere. It's like, I must be in heaven. I'm not in a nut house. I'm in heaven. Okie dokie. Okay.
You
Sounds
can
a little
definitely tell
crazy.
that these people are lunatics.
Yeah, well, that's why it's called the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Okay, X?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, let's see. It says, at its inception, the hospital could comfortably contain about 250 patients in private rooms. In 1863, an increase in mental health diagnoses led to the hospital admitting more patients than it could handle. 500 more people were added to the already full hospital of 250, I would assume. And the asylum started to struggle to keep up with the amount of patients and the care required. Conditions started to decline. Now, what a lot of people don't realize, should I say, the younger people that may be listening, such as sweet little Haley there.
You remember talking to me about this place? I don't remember that.
Well, no, about this, I said what I'm going to tell you about this place.
Oh, no, Haley said that she remembers talking to me about this one. I don't remember talking about this. Oh, my goodness.
Back in the day, before women had rights, okay?
Back in the day.
Not my day. Well, way before my day. Okay. Women were bequeathed to men. Okay. They may not have even liked them. Today, you get to fall in love with them. If you like them, you marry them. Okay. If you love them, you marry them, whatever. Back then, your parents got to pick. And let's say you didn't like the person your parent picked for you. Okay. You would get sent to one of these asylums until you were conditioned to believe the way your parents believed. You didn't even have to be crazy to go into one of these places.
Nope.
You just had to defy your parents and say, I don't want to marry him. I don't want to become a lawyer.
I don't even remember.
You didn't let me.
Oh, no. Well, because I was going to tag on to that. The one woman that was sent to an asylum by her family because she didn't want to marry someone. And if you remember.
Isn't that the woman in the box?
Yeah.
That's the woman in the box.
They stuck her in a box.
Or in a crate, excuse me. The woman in a crate.
She did not, her body deformed to be hunched over.
Right. She had to crawl.
Yeah.
Her legs were crippled and she literally crawled along the asylum floor. And I don't know if it was this one, but if we move on, we might find out. Maybe.
It was just I was just tacking that on because it was literally for that reason that her parents sent her there.
Yeah, I know.
Or that she was in love with somebody else, but they had picked someone else for her, and she said
And she
absolutely
want-
not. And
Yeah.
they were like, "Well, then you're going here."
And until the doctor's theory was, we're going to put her in this crate until she conforms to the way of thinking of her parents, and then we'll let her out. Well, she never did.
Nope.
Anyway, it says patients were crammed together with 4 or 5 people in one room that was meant to only fit one person.
Oh my God.
By 1938, the asylum was over 6 times its capacity. Okay, so 6 times 250. Holy crap, that was like, what, 1,500 people? Something like that. Patients began to take advantage of the situation and were completely out of control. Out of control of nurses and doctors.
15.
Food supplies were running low, and the hospital even started to use hallways for patients' rooms.
Oh,
The
wow.
overcrowding of the asylum was caused by more than just not enough space. While plenty of the patients actually suffered from some sort of mental illness, a lot of those admitted were medical reasons, such as asthma, tuberculosis, rabies. Even stranger, others were wives who were insubordinate to their husbands.
Disgusting.
Indigent. Whatever.
Yeah, indigent.
Yeah. And political excitement. Don't ask me. I don't know. Not sure what the hell that means.
Probably different political views.
Possibly. If one truly thinks about it, most people would have been admitted at some point in their lives who hasn't fought with a spouse, had a stomach ache, or been upset with the world's political climate. Think about that. This day and age, oh my Lord, I know quite a few people be in the nut house.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. At the peak of the 1950s, the hospital contained a whopping 2,600 patients, meant to only house 250.
That's insane.
This was an immense overcrowding, leading to fighting and a general sense of apathy that ran rampant throughout the corridors. Patients were forced to sleep on the floor and in freezing rooms with no furniture or heat. Windows were coated in mold, and wallpaper was peeling off the walls. The asylum had begun to look like it was abandoned before it even was. During this time, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum began performing experimental lobotomies. Here we go.
No. I was gonna get into this part because this apparently is my section when it comes to talking about this kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. You go right ahead. So go your experimental lobotomies. You go.
I'm not too sure exactly what website you're reading from, but
I'm
on
the
the
US
one
Coast
that
one.
on the one that I'm on, it talks about torturous treatments.
Well, you go for it.
And it says, because obviously this is my thing for this show. Apparently, I talk about the torture and it makes me cry.
She tortures me all the time.
Anyways, so it says torturous treatments. It says during the 130 years that the asylum was open, mental health treatment went through several fads. I love that word. Several fads. Almost every single one of them was agonizing and inhumane. The first half of the 20th century saw no bounds to horrible creativity that so-called scientific mind could conjure up. Insulin coma therapy was a popular method in the 1930s. It was believed that changing patients' insulin levels, as in placing them in diabetic comas, could rewire their brains and cure their illness. Of course, the side effects included permanent brain damage, prolonged comas, and death.
Go figure.
Metrazole therapy was another popular treatment with disastrous results. It was believed that inducing seizures in schizophrenic patients would help them calm. Would, Jesus Christ, would help calm them and lighten their symptoms. The only thing that the patients got out of it was fractured bones and torn muscles. Arguably, the most popular treatment and most dehumanizing was the lobotomy. It involved taking a needle-like instrument, almost like an ice pick, and jabbing it into the brain, cutting off prefrontal cutting off prefrontal cortex connections, believing it was believing it was the be-all and end-all cure for mental illness. It was performed nationwide. At best, patients were left with severe motor function issues, cognitive changes, behavior changes, and personality changes. At worst, they were left in a vegetative state. These were what the patients looked forward to day in and day out. For years, sometimes decades, if they lived long enough, many of those who suffered still suffer in this life and the next.
It's crazy.
That is insane.
I don't know how we allowed this type of thing to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know how lobotomy could even be considered in anything that a doctor would do.
I don't either. But back then it was.
And it's crazy. Like, and it's a no, never mind, right? It's a no, never mind to these people to do this kind of thing. It was just like,
well, they were mental patients. Who was going to argue with it? Who was going to argue with it?
Yeah, but not all of them were. Not all of them were, insane.
I know that. I know that. You know that. We all know that now. But back then, if a doctor said, we need to do this, this is going to help, then they did it. Who was there who questioned doctors back then? Nobody.
Nobody, because if you did, chances are you're going to get thrown in there with them.
You're going to get lobotomized.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So do you have who haunts the place?
So I don't know why this thing breaks it up into the good and the bad.
Okay, because I have, according to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum official website. Okay, they have an official website. There are about 8 resident spirits living or not living
8
at the asylum.
Spirits, yeah.
At this, the asylum was purchased about a decade ago by the family of Rebecca Jordan. And she says it didn't take long before the asylum spectral patients paid a visit to her. While giving a tour of the facility, she felt someone grab her shoulder and squeeze. Well, are you still with me? I think I lost her. I think I lost Axe. It's okay. Understanding spirits. Okay. We have, let's see, the spirits. We all know what spirits are. These spirits are people who once had full lives, just as everyone else, just like us today. Okay. It says there are a few choice locations throughout the asylum that are said to have activity. It's no surprise. With such torture and neglect, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum's dark history can't help but shine through like dark sunbeams. So we have a place called the back room. Okay. In a room toward the back end of the wing, a patient was murdered by 2 other patients. They attempted to hang him, but when that failed, they placed, oh, good God. Good thing Axe isn't here. They placed his head under the bed frame and jumped on it until the bed frame touched the floor. Other patients were also murdered in cold blood by their peers, as overcrowding mental illness, and poor care became a lethal combination of aggression. This room is known for its cold spots and quiet cries, which is said to be Dean, the man who was murdered in his room. That is horrible. You have isolated cells. First off, I'm not sure why there's isolated cells in an asylum, but I guess.
I am back.
Asylum, you are back.
I am
Good.
back.
You missed the part that I just talked about.
That's okay.
Asylum staff were empowered to send their patients into isolation if they were deemed uncontrollable. Well, you got a hospital built for 250 people that is now housing 2,600 people. I think there's a lot of uncontrollable right there. Okay.
Mhm.
This, of course, was up to the discretion of the staff that was already irritated and overworked. Isolation was so terrible that patients would do just about anything to get out of it. One story in particular is especially surprising. A former boxer who suffered from a head injury during his career that left him violent and emotionless attempted to beat down the metal door that isolated him. He ended up ripping the door off of its hinges, leaving visible dents in the steel.
My God.
When he finally got the door off, he handed it to one of the nurses and calmly returned to his room.
What?
The rooms used most for isolation tend to have violent energies attached to them. Well, I wonder why. With visitors reporting being pushed or scratched, as well as disembodied voices saying, "Get me out of here." I'm sure there's a lot of voices screaming, "Get me out of here."
Right.
Other hauntings at the asylum. More than a few ghosts are known to staff of the asylum, including Lily, a playful and friendly child spirit who is believed to have spent her entire life at the hospital. Now, that's wrong. That's just wrong. Because I'm going to tell you, in today's age, where we have autism and other forms of disabilities, okay, back in those days, if a child had what we call autism today, they'd have been put in this place.
Well,
Because
so
they would have been considered damaged. That is
yes.
what they called them back in the day. They called them damaged. Okay. So for this little child, Lily, that could have been the problem if she spent her whole life there.
Well,
Because
that's not.
it says her entire life at the hospital. Back in the day of the asylum's operation, pregnant women who were admitted would often give birth at the hospital,
Right.
with baby living there with them throughout the stay. Well, that's possible too. Lily is known for her laughter, as well as her interest in playing games with staff and visitors who pay her attention. She is an active part of the asylum's community to this day.
So what I found about Lily is that what they say about Lily is that she was actually born in the asylum. And what
Right.
happened is that her mother was admitted after the Civil War, unaware she was pregnant with Lily at the time.
Mhm.
The mother, Lily's mother, ended up dying during childbirth, leaving the nurses to care for Lily. However, Lily's life would only be short-lived. At age 9, she did end up contracting pneumonia, and she died from it. Never to know the life outside of the asylum. Those who go to visit her room will leave toys for her to play with. Some have even sworn they've seen a toy or two move. There's even a story of a woman touring the asylum with a group of people where she began having a conversation with a little girl. The little girl seemed lost, so the woman was trying to convince her to join the group. Yet when she turned around a moment later, the girl was gone.
Hmm.
And then I have two other spirits right here. It says there's another spirit named Elizabeth who is known to roam the hallways of the asylum. Not much is known about her other than that she was a nurse. Perhaps even in death, she's still taking care of the patients. And then the next one is there's a ghost either named Jesse or James, depending on who asks.
Jesse James?
I have no idea. It's Jesse or James, or it could be Jesse James, depending on who asks. Who used to reside in the asylum. The story goes that he had a heart attack in the bathtub, and his spirit remains in that bathroom to this day.
The point is, all these places, okay, they're asylums, they were hospitals, they were meant to help the sick, whether it be physical sickness or mental sickness.
Oh, I get it now.
And they failed. They failed horribly.
Yeah.
Most of these places were nothing more than torturous facilities. As I said.
Oh, this place was nothing but torture.
As I said myself, you couldn't get me in it when you couldn't get me back into a mental facility, hospital, whatever, with the living that are there, let alone the people that were there that died. Okay, it just ain't gonna happen. I seen firsthand how these people were treated, how they were highly medicated, and I'm sorry, I was only maybe 7 years old, somewhere in there, maybe 8, I don't know. And even I knew what was going on was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And how adults could have done this to people and how other adults could have allowed this to happen to people is beyond me, because it's just all shades of wrong.
Yep.
And that's pretty much where we're going to leave it tonight.
Well, so wait, I want to end this one. I want to end this one. So I understand now what they meant by the good and the bad with separating the hauntings. Is that the stuff I just read above about Lily, Elizabeth, Jesse, or James, whoever these people are, or whatever his name is, these are marked as the good ghosts, the ghosts that don't have any intention of hurting you. Whereas the bad, they're talking about a monster or monsters residing within this sanatorium called Slewfoot. Did you talk about this?
No.
Okay. So I want to read this section real quick, and then I'll give you guys one last nightmare. Okay? One last nightmare.
Thanks, X.
So it says, there are monsters in the asylum. They were monsters when they were alive and continue to be that in their death.
Sounds like the doctors and the nurses were.
We've talked about that before as well, though, that what you are in life is what you're going to be in death. If you're a nasty person in life, you're going to be a nasty person in death.
Exactly.
We've mentioned that. So that's I'm assuming that's essentially what they're talking about. It seems that no form of treatment or diagnosis could cure them. Perhaps they never wanted to be cured in the first place. I don't know why I said cured like that. Anyways, there's a story of 2 sadistic patients who attempted to hang another patient.
I did talk about this.
Okay, well,
when they couldn't hang him, they used the bed to and jumped on it, put his head under the bed, the frame, and jumped up and down on it.
Well, hold on, because so I'm going to read through this entire thing, and then we'll go from there. So it said they tried several times with little success. They decided to go several steps beyond that, several bloody, horrifying steps. They focused on they forced the patient's head underneath a bedpost and proceeded to jump, oh my God, on the bed repeatedly. The patient died, and it's safe to assume how. It's also safe to say that no more detail is needed, at least detail that any rational person would desire. So there's that. Then it continues on to the Slewfoot thing. Love you too, Haley. So then it says,
we love you.
The spirits of 2 patients have taken the form of black shadows. They're known to suck the life and energy out of any room they enter. People have been known to feel uncomfortable and ill around their presence. There's another evil spirit only as Slewfoot. Whoever this person used to be remains a mystery. All that is known is that he used to be a horrendous murderer who would kill people in the upstairs bathroom. They say he still roams the upper floors to this day. You never want to cross his path. Because apparently, on ghost tours, he has actually hurt people that are in groups.
Oh,
Like, he will
Okay.
attack, even if you're in a group with other people, he will, if he wants to target you, he is going to do it, and he will do it with other people around. He does not care.
okay. I get it.
That is disgusting.
Okay. Well, we need to end the show,
Yes.
X. So we are going to say good night.
Yes.
It has
Good
been
night,
another
everybody.
wonderful Let's Talk Paranormal with TJ and X.
Very talkative.
It was definitely one of those nights where we're gonna probably have a few nightmares trying to get through what we just went over here. But
I'm gonna be horrified for the rest of my life.
I tried to save you on the one the two killed the one guy, but
The bedpost, yeah, no.
you
I didn't
found it
realize
anyway.
that's what you were talking about that I missed.
Yeah, that's the one. But anyway, we hope everybody that joined us tonight enjoyed themselves, and
Yeah.
hopefully you'll come back again next week.
What are we
If
talking
you
about?
if you have anything that we should talk about, shoot us a message. We're always willing to, look into different things. Next week, I was thinking I had somebody today tell me, I should probably do haunted mansions.
Oh, okay.
So, because, I know there's one or two here in New Hampshire. So maybe we can check it out, see if it, we can get enough. If there's a couple different places outside of, Madame Cherier's place here in New Hampshire.
Yes.
So hopefully next week we will try to check out do some research on haunted mansions and get back with you next Tuesday. How's that?
Heck yeah.
Okay. It was good seeing y'all tonight. Y'all take care. God bless. Know that we love you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you guys so much for coming. See you next week. Love you. Goodbye. Mwah.
Night all.